Hey guys. Um, this isn't really going to be a review of Elimination Chamber as such because I really don't want to review the show. Didn't enjoy the show. I'm going to go through my brief overview on a few points here and there and stuff like that. But it's going to be more thoughts on Elimination Chamber than an actual review because I won't be giving ratings or just be giving my opinion on the show and certain aspects and things like that, the aesthetics and things like that. And then I'm going to partake in the first of what will be a 3-part thing. Because we all know I love fantasy booking. And it's not really a fantasy booking as such. It's coming off the back of Elimination Chamber, what my WrestleMania card would be. And I mean, I literally threw it together in about, 3 or 4 minutes, maybe 5 at a push, but yeah. So the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, let down. Opening with the WWE title match was the wrong move. Maybe in hindsight, the way they booked it, it was probably the right move. A lot of people were expecting a swerve in the World Title Chamber, which was in the middle of the card, because they main evented with Cena Kane, which is stupid, because that was such a nothing match. Anyway, the WWE title match, yeah, not a good chamber match, quite botchy, just quite messy as a whole. Wouldn't really say there was a standout performer. The shit they did with Jericho was just stupid. I mean, the fact that they kept him at ringside was obviously teasing that he was faking and that he was just going to go back into the match, but which is fucking stupid. If you're going to do the whole he's out, then take him out. Do you know what I mean? Don't leave him at ringside and try and just say, oh, well, maybe he's not. Maybe he's going to come back in and he's going to win the title after Punk's beaten Miz or whatever. But yeah, Punk retained. Not a huge shocker. Everybody was expecting Punk or Jericho to walk out of the chamber with the title, because obviously that sets up their WrestleMania match. But all in all, not a good chamber match. The Divas match, really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed it for what it was. I mean, it was short, obviously, because it's a Divas match, but I can't remember the last time I saw a Divas match that was this good, because Beth is such a good worker, but she's not really had anybody to work with, and Tamina she's a natural. Like, she has, considering how much ring time she's had on TV, she doesn't get a lot because it's TV, and they give the Divas like the 30-second slot of doom or whatever you will, when the entrances are longer than the actual match. She looks really good. She looks like she could be a really good women's wrestler. So I saw a lot of potential in her, and she's got a knack. She's got a natural knack. So she's one to look out for in the future. I can see her as a champion, maybe even before the end of the year. But yeah, with the scene the way it is, if what I think is going to happen does happen, then title might be on the next person, the person that beats Beth for a long time, longer than Beth's held title. But yeah, good women's match, good solid women's match. Probably the high point of the card for me, which World Title Elimination Chamber. They didn't swap out Marella. Carly wasn't in there for very long, which was good. They didn't swap out Marella, which was a bit of a surprise. They had just skip over the stupid John Laurinaitis. The only good thing to come out of that was the picture on David Otunga's Twitter. That's all I have to say about that. But the World Title Elimination Chamber was good. Good match. Long in places. I mean, it felt like it dragged at certain moments. I really liked the whole Big Show breaking into Daniel Bryan's pod thing. That was really cool. But other than that, until maybe the finishing sequence, which And I mean, whilst it was, I couldn't get into it because I knew Santino wasn't going to win, and I'm sorry, nothing anybody can say is ever going to convince me that Santino Marella was going to win that Elimination Chamber. Nobody could say a damn thing that would ever convince me that Santino was going to win that chamber. I'm a big Daniel Bryan fan. I don't think Santino is good enough in the ring. Maybe he's great. It's great that he's over the crowd and everything, but do you really want to see this guy main eventing pay-per-views? Really? With his in-ring work? Really? But it was still fun. I mean, the crowd reaction got me sort of interested, even though I couldn't commit to it because I just didn't feel like Santino was going to win. It was a similar sort of thing to the Royal Rumble. Although, more so the Royal Rumble, I could have seen Marella actually winning the Royal Rumble. With the whole thing in 2011 last year, where he went out of the ring and then he came back in, almost eliminated Del Rio. But yeah, it was a decent exchange, and it was pretty good considering what it was. And Daniel Bryan retains, obviously. Then Sheamus came out. The babyface attacking the heel after the heel's gone through a 30-minute Elimination Chamber match. Well done, WWE! That's like, wow. I mean, come on. Isn't that just what you would do if you're a good guy? You know, just go in there and beat up the bad guy before he's even done anything wrong. Am I right? Stupid filler match. Well, the match wasn't stupid. The segment to lead up to the match was stupid with the Hornswoggle and the cheese and the Vicky Guerrero and blah 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 blah. The match was good. Probably the worst match on the card, but it was still good for what they had. They had like 3 minutes. Justin Gabriel and Jack Swagger went out US title match. They had about 3-4 minutes. They're both good in the ring. So even though Justin Gabriel still needs to work on his promos because he can't promo to save his life. But they're both good in the ring, so that's what you needed for this. And they went out there and they had a decent enough United States title match, so it's fine. And this is turning into more of a review than I wanted it to be, but I'm being quick because I really just don't want to. I'm not giving anything ratings because I just don't care for this show. Main event, just a nothing ambulance match, and that's it. That's all I'm going to say about that. My biggest gripe with this show was it's supposed to be on the road to WrestleMania, but other than Daniel Bryan setting up Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus, where was the progression towards WrestleMania? Jericho Punk's already been set up. Just because Jericho didn't get eliminated from the match, just the way they did it was so stupid, it just didn't feel like it was progressing the feud any further. It's just making Jericho look like a fucking geek. He got knocked out because he got shoved off the steps and hit his head on the camera. But anyway, yeah, shut up. Didn't do what it was supposed to. It's not supposed to be a great show, although usually it is a good show. Just, nah. Didn't do anything for me. The chamber matches weren't as good as they should have been. The World Title Chamber match was alright. Better than the WWE title match. WWE title match was let down. And we had a good women's match, which is a positive, I guess. But a lot of people don't care about women's wrestling, so fucking that part. The WWE doesn't usually, so shocker that they gave it down to the chamber. But we have the groundworks for WrestleMania matches, and whilst it did nothing really to progress any feud, because Undertaker put out a video saying that he demanded an answer from Triple H. I don't see why they didn't play it on this pay-per-view. They had this fucking... I don't know how long it was this time. This stupid John Cena with all the FCW guys, and he lifts weights. And, worthless piece of shit. just not something people want to pay for. They don't want to pay to see a big, massive John Cena promo. So. But yeah, the show as a whole was alright. It was, no, it wasn't alright. It was poor. Poor show. But anyway, now on to the next part of the video, which will be if I sort of took the reins now, following Elimination Chamber, where I would go with things and what matches I would then have at WrestleMania. Okay. So we've obviously, I mean, I can't really change the matches that have been made. You've got your World Heavyweight title match with Daniel Bryan and Sheamus, which has officially been booked. You've got Rock versus Cena, which has been officially booked. So those two matches are going to stay. I'm going to go down in card order. Cody Rhodes versus Goldust. They've been building this feud on Smackdown. They've been pushing for this match. Goldust has got the history with the lineage in the Intercontinental title. He's held the title for a while. He's when you think of Intercontinental champions, he is one of the names that come to mind if you were a fan in the Attitude Era. I was a fan towards the tail end of the Attitude Era, but you know I still associate with Goldust with the Intercontinental title in '98 and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that would be a good match. Probably Dustin's last. Kane versus Zack Ryder, just to get this feud out of the way. And I mean, I won't give it too long. I just have Kane beat him down for a while, and then Ryder come back, and you know, the base goes over. The monster, the story of Frankenstein, as if you will. Money in the Bank, Del Rio, Big Show, Christian, Swagger, Kingston, Mark Henry, Miz, R-Truth, Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio, and Wade Barrett. They're doing the Money in the Bank, so I do the Money in the Bank. Mysterio, I'm not sure if he'll be back. I think he might be. There's obviously no guarantees, and he might be out for longer than they originally thought, which is what I'd heard. So maybe he won't be there. I just don't care enough to think of somebody else to swap him with. Filler, and because it's been set up, just a match between a Laurinaitis representative and a Teddy Long representative for control of Raw and SmackDown. David Otunga versus Santino Marella. They both get on the card, fine. They've both been on TV a lot. And, you know, Santino's so over, he should be on the card. And I just think this could be a selling point in a way, but it wouldn't take anything away from the upper card or anything else. Plus, it's quite a nice sort of cool down match because you've got the Money in the Bank and then you have that to sort of cool the fans down. I would then have this is where things get a little bit interesting. This really is probably the only match that I've really booked per se, because the rest of the matches are liable to happen. Dolph Ziggler versus Mick Foley in a hardcore match. Harken back to WrestleMania 22, Edge versus Mick Foley in their, I think it was a hardcore, maybe Extreme Rules, whatever you want to call it. I can't remember the gimmick they had with it, but it was basically a false count anywhere, no rules sort of match. And you just go with a similar adage here, where maybe because you've had the Mick Foley and the Ziggler confrontations when Mick Foley came back, and maybe Mick says that Dolph is on the cusp of being a main event, but he's not tough enough to be able to keep a slot, something along those lines. And then Ziggler would attack Mick Foley and just beat the crap out of him, and then Mick Foley would go hardcore on his ass. And yeah, I honestly think this could be a fantastic match. I mean, I think it could be better than the well, I'm not sure it could be better than the Edge Mick Foley match because that match was so good, but it could be of a similar ilk. And I think it could be like, because I really think that match made Edge. After that match, Edge was a main eventer, a surefire main eventer. I feel like this sort of match could do the same for Ziggler, and could just basically set Ziggler up for a big main event run coming off the back of it. Because Mick Foley is probably one of the better guys. If you want to put help get a young guy over, probably one of the better older guys to put him in there with, because Mick's a smart enough guy where he knows the ropes. Next, I would have the world title match: Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus. I know it's kind of the middle of the card, but you've got some really big matches, and I honestly just feel like this. I mean, you can't put it after Rock and Cena. And where it's placed, the next match on the card would be the Undertaker Triple H match, because I don't want to book it, but I have to, because of the way they've set it up. If I don't book this match, I just think I just must be a complete and utter idiot, or I'm a booker, a WWE booker. But yeah, I'd put the world title match in. Then I'd have Undertaker, Triple H, three. Yes, 3. I'm not an idiot. The way they're working it is that it seems like Shawn Michaels is going to somehow back Triple H in the match, or maybe he's going to be a guest referee. I don't know what gimmick they're planning, but Shawn Michaels is going to be at the Hall of Fame for sure, because they're both inducting the Horsemen. So there's obviously going to be that tie-in. So it's just a matter of how you're going to work him into the match. You see, I would like to do him in Triple H's corner, and then Undertaker can get Paul Bearer back just for this one match. Because I think that would be like a really nice way to sort of close both their storylines, at least in the ring, and that would be the last match for both of them. If I was to do it like that. I just think it would be a nice way to go out. Divas Championship, which again, match, like I said, all these last 5 matches are all matches they're going to do. Obviously, Rock and Cena's the main event, so I'm almost there. Divas Championship match: Beth Phoenix versus Kharma. Again, another cool down match. Like I said, with Daniel Bryan and Sheamus, the only reason it's in the middle of the card is because of the matches that come after. The Divas match is to sort of break things up. The 2 matches I feel that would break things up are the Otunga, Marella, and Divas match. That's no offense to Beth and Kharma, but they wouldn't. The crowd would not be as interested the crowd never is interested in the Divas match as they are in the other matches. And that's, again, like I said, no offense to them, but it's a good slot for them to have, because I think I like the idea of having the Divas match towards before the 2 main events. So you've got that there. I really don't want Undertaker vs Triple H to be the main event. I really hope it's not the second to last match. My second, and I just Beth Phoenix vs Kharma. If you don't go with it, then you're an idiot. Punk vs Jericho for the WWE title books itself. It's a simple enough feud. It really does book itself if you're these 2 guys. I mean, they should be able to book a feud with each other perfectly fine without the help of the writers. And Rock and Cena. So yeah, that would be my card coming out of Elimination Chamber. I'll be making 2 more videos in relation to this sort of thing. I still need to talk about Okada sucking. I might do that together with an all-together review. I might not. But yeah, we'll see. The next video in this ideologies, I'm going to go with another booking video, a full-on booking video, where I'm going to rebook the road to WrestleMania, if you will. I was thinking take over the night of TLC, the night of Survivor Series, and go from there. But there's nothing I would have really changed on the Survivor Series show, because you just can't, because that show is just so poorly booked. So I'm going to say I take over the night of TLC. So I've got to stick with the announced card and then work from there. and build to WrestleMania. So yeah, I've got that all pretty much set up. All the storylines pretty much planned out. Just got to sort of be bothered to actually record the video and upload it. I'll probably wait maybe a week or so before I actually do it, because there are still a few semantics that I need to sort out. But yeah, Elimination Chamber sucked. My WrestleMania card is really good because I'm an amazing booker. And I'll catch you guys later.